Excuse me. Good evening, everyone. By the time the music went off, I had to cough. So let me fix a couple of things really quick that I thought I already had fixed. I want to make myself bigger so you can see me. And we are getting ready to do some more Bible Bowl questions, and hope you're ready for that. And we do not have adult teams yet for Wednesday night. So if you can help out, excuse me again, if you can help out Wednesday night by being an adult team, if you can join an adult team, we desperately need you on a team. Right now, we have people who have said that they want to be on a team, but we have nobody on a team, actually. So we need you to sign up for Bible Bowl, mock Bible Bowl next Wednesday night. The Jordan Church of Christ will be here as well. Really looking forward to that. I always have a really, really good time at that. I really enjoy it. And give me some feedback and let me know if the mic is loud enough and everything is going on with that okay. I'm going to throw a couple of messages in the chat box here. So if you are listening in tonight, help us by keeping score and letting us know how you are doing. We only have 20, I think we only have 25 questions tonight, so it won't take very long. Hopefully we will know the answers to all of those. Let me check in and just make sure that I am watching the video feed from all of these. So, jump on, let us know how you score and how many you get right and how many you don't get right. But looking forward to this. So, Luke 17 through 24. Next Wednesday night, we will be covering Luke chapter 1 through chapter 24. So usually we have 75 questions in the mock Bible Bowl. It is usually like 25 and then a break, and then we do 25 more. So it is next Wednesday night. I'm not sure of the time. I think it's 7 o'clock. Wow. If somebody knows what time it is, I should know that. Let me know. But I think they said 7 o'clock. It's usually 7 o'clock. So if it's not 7 o'clock, we will send out a flock note, or we'll put something on the Facebook page about what time to join in. If you are not able to be here in person next week, then just jump onto we're going to live stream. It won't look like this. It'll just be the auditorium. Probably just Jeff asking questions. We'll do it where you can see the PowerPoint. And so jump on next week and just follow along, keep score, send your scores in the break. We'll appoint somebody to look at that and kind of total up scores and let us know how you do. So make a team. Team is usually 4 people. Just keep score well, and we'll have a great time with that. We also have desserts after Bible Bowl. So if you can make a dessert and send it, let Jeff Henry know. So send a message to Jeff, tell him you can send a dessert. And please, somebody send something besides cheesecake, so I have something to eat. All right, so question number 1. We're just going to jump right in, do 25 questions, and we'll be done for tonight. And read all of the questions again come from the New King James Version. So if you're studying for next Wednesday night, trying to get an adult team going, New King James Version. If you see a question and you get a phrase wrong or a word wrong, typically it's because you are studying out of the wrong version. And I really appreciate the fact that it is usually it's usually done in that way. That way everybody is looking at the same Bible, the same version, and there's not any discrepancies with scoring and things like that. So let me jump on the website right there, give a hello message in case somebody's out there on that website. So question number 1, you've had time to look at this one, right? I hope you didn't look it up while we were waiting. Luke chapter 17, verse 3. What should you do if your brother sins against you? Let's see if I can make this work. All right. A, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. B, rebuke him and forgive him. C, forgive him and tell him not to sin again. So Luke chapter 17, verse 3, what should you do if your brother sins against you? A, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. B, rebuke him and forgive him. C, forgive him and tell him not to sin again. Hey, that's a pretty hard question. All three of those are kind of right. It's just getting the exact phrase, and it would be, the correct answer for that would be A, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. By the way, I did not write these questions. These questions came from Jolton Church of Christ. I think maybe Jackson wrote them, or maybe he appointed people to write them. I don't know. But thank you, Jackson, for putting the questions out there so that we do not, I did not have to come up with my own questions. So question number 2, Luke chapter 17, verse 10. What should we say when we have done all things that are commanded? This is the end of a parable that Jesus taught. A, we are good and faithful servants. B, we are doing our best as servants. Or C, we are unprofitable servants. Luke chapter 17, verse 10, what should we say when we have done all things that are commanded? A, we are good and faithful servants. B, we are doing our best as servants. C, we are unprofitable servants. And the correct answer is C, we are unprofitable servants. So tonight, to try to get you ready for next Wednesday night, I'm going to read the rest of these questions the way that they are typically read. We usually read through the question, give the answer, read through the question again and give the answer. This is the way they do it at Bible Bowl. Give a few seconds and say time. And if you come in person next Wednesday night, you have an A, B, and C card. When the moderator says time, you hold your card up, right? A, B, or C, and that's your answer. So when we say time, you don't get a chance to answer after that. You have to answer when they say time. So to prepare you, I'm going to do it the way we should do it over the next section of questions, all of the questions that we have tonight. All right, so question number 3. Having a real hard time with the space bar here. Luke chapter 17, verse 22. What did Jesus say the disciples would not see? Luke chapter 17, verse 22. What did Jesus say the disciples would not see? A, the kingdom of God. B, the days they will desire to see. Or C, one of the days of the Son of Man. Luke chapter 17, verse 22. What did Jesus say the disciples would not see? A, the kingdom of God. B, the days they will desire to see. C, one of the days of the Son of Man. Time. So put your answer up, and it should have been C, one of the days of the Son of Man. Then we give you a few minutes, tap, put your cards down, and we'll move on to the next question next week. Question number 4, Luke chapter 18, verse 8. How will God avenge his own elect? A, quickly. B, speedily. C, hastily. Luke chapter 18, verse 8. How will God avenge his own elect? A, quickly. B, speedily. C, hastily. Time. Correct answer from the New King James Version is speedily. I hope that's right. I didn't check these, by the way, but I'm pretty sure that's right. If you find one that is wrong, let us know. We will get online and correct it. Question number 5. Luke chapter 18, verse 28. Then blank said, see, we have left all and followed you. A, Peter. B, Matthew. C, John. Luke chapter 18, verse 28. Then blank said, see, we have left all and followed you. A, Peter. B, Matthew. C, John. Time. Correct answer is A, Peter. Question number 6. Luke chapter 18, verse 32. For he will be delivered to the blank and will be mocked and insulted and spit upon. A, Pharisees. B, Gentiles, C, Romans. Luke chapter 18, verse 32, for he will be delivered to the blank and will be mocked and insulted and spit upon. A, Pharisees, B, Gentiles, C, Romans. Time. The correct answer is Gentiles. So I don't know how you're doing so far. That's 6 questions, 25, I think, total. So I'll throw some scores in there in a few minutes, so let me know how you're doing. Question number 7. Luke chapter 19, verse 9. Jesus said, today salvation has come to this house because he also is a son of blank. A, the Messiah. B, Abraham. C, God. Luke chapter 19, verse 9. Jesus said, today salvation has come to this house because he also is a son of blank. A, the Messiah. B, Abraham. C, God. Time. Correct answer is B, Abraham. All of those are good answers, aren't they? So these questions this week are a little more difficult than the ones that we had last week. Question number 8. Luke chapter 19, verse 29. Jesus drew near to Bethpage and Bethany at the mountain called blank. I think we have an extra preposition in there. A, Sinai. B, Ararat. C, Olivet. Luke chapter 19, verse 29. Jesus drew near to Bethpage and Bethany at the mountain called blank. A, Sinai. B, Ararat. C, Olivet. Time. The correct answer is C, Olivet. Question number 9. Luke chapter 19, verse 43. For days will come upon you when your enemies will build blank around you. A, an embankment. B, a hedge. C, a wall. Luke chapter 19, verse 43. For days will come upon you when your enemies will build blank around you. A, an embankment. B, a hedge. C, a wall. Time. The correct answer is A, an embankment. These questions are harder. I tried to pick out questions that were a little harder than we had last week, just simply because next week the questions will just be harder, and for Bible Bowl the questions are a little bit more difficult. So you have to read the text, remember the wording, and remember where they occur. So let's read the question number 10. Question number 10. Luke chapter 20, verse 2, tell us by what blank are you doing these things? A, power. B, strength. C, authority. Luke chapter 20, verse 2, tell us by what blank you are doing these things. A, power. B, strength. C, authority. Time. This one was a little easier. It was C, authority. Question number 11. Luke chapter 20, verse 5. The chief priests and scribes reasoned among themselves, saying, if we say from heaven, he will say, why then did you not blank him? A, follow. B, believe. Or C, trust. Luke chapter 20, verse 5. The chief priests and scribes reasoned among themselves, saying, if we say from heaven, he will say, why then did you not blank him? A, follow. B, believe. C, trust. Time. The correct answer is B, believe. Those are statements that Jesus made when he was talking about John the Baptist. Question number 12. Luke chapter 20, verse 47. What do the scribes do to widows' houses? A, devour them. B, fund them. C, help build them. Luke chapter 20, verse 47. What do the scribes do to widows' houses? A, devour them. B, fund them. C, help build them. Time. The correct answer is A, devour them. So one more question, and we're going to see if we can get some scores. Question 13. Luke chapter 21, verse 2. How much money did the poor widow put in the treasury? A, 2 mites. B, 3 mites. C, 5 mites. Luke chapter 21, verse 2. How much money did the poor widow put into the treasury? A, 2 mites. B, 3 mites. C, 5 mites. Time. The correct answer is A, 2 mites. 2 mites. So if you have a score, text a score in to me. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how many you're getting right or how many you're getting wrong. And I will check the message boards, and I won't say your name or anything like that. Just let you know how things are going. So we have 12 questions left. We're moving right along tonight. All right, question number 14. Luke chapter 21, verse 11. Which of these things will not happen at the end of the age? A, earthquakes. B, famines. C, fire from heaven. Luke chapter 21, verse 11. Which of these things will not happen at the end of the age? A, earthquakes. B, famines. C, fire from heaven. Time. The correct answer is C, fire from heaven. Question number 15. Luke chapter 21, verse 38. Early the next morning, where did people go to listen to Jesus? That's a hard question without any context, isn't it? Luke chapter 21, verse 38. Early the next morning, where did people go to listen to Jesus? I mean, that is really hard with no context unless you just know exactly what happened in Luke chapter 21. A, on the mountain called Olivet. B, in the temple. C, in the synagogue. Luke chapter 21, verse 38. Early the next morning, where did people go to listen to Jesus? A, on Mount Olivet. B, in the temple. C, in the synagogue. Time. The correct answer is B, in the temple. But those are 3 really difficult choices from Luke chapter 21. I mean, if you did not know that, you would have a hard time guessing the right answer. So people are doing good. So some have gotten 8, some have gotten 12. You don't know why I told you I wouldn't tell you who it was. If you're actually watching on Facebook, you're going to know that anyway, depending on which stream you're watching. So we stream to 2 Facebook pages, 2 websites, and a YouTube channel. So I guess depending on which one you're on, you may or may not see other people's scores when they post them on another platform. All right, question number 16. And hey, if you're watching from another place like Courtney and Liam, we're watching tonight and answering questions next week, text some answers in or get on Facebook and put them on there if you don't mind, or text them to my phone number. Luke chapter, I'm actually going to be on a team next week. I think if we get enough people to have a team, instead of reading questions this year, Jeff is going to read questions and I am actually going to participate. So Luke chapter 22, verse 1. What is another name for Passover? A, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. B, the Exodus. C, the Feast of Booths. Luke chapter 22, verse 1. What is another name for Passover? A, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. B, the Exodus. Or C, the Feast of Booths. That's kind of a hard question too. Time, by the way. The correct answer is A, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. which they went together. There was the Feast of Unleavened Bread, then the Passover. I think, or that might have been backwards, but it happened at the Exodus, so that leads you kind of to B, doesn't it? And the Feast of Booths is just another feast on the calendar. So that would be a difficult question to guess again if you did not know the correct answer. So whoever wrote these questions did a really good job. Question 17, Luke chapter 22, verse 4. Who did Judas confer with about betraying Jesus? A, the chief priests and scribes. B, the Sanhedrin. C, the chief priests and captains. Luke chapter 22, verse 4. Who did Jesus confer with about betraying Jesus? A, the chief priests and scribes. B, the Sanhedrin. C, the chief priest and captains. Time. Correct answer is C, the chief priest and captains. That would also be a very difficult one if you did not know the exact phraseology in the New King James Version. It'd be very difficult to guess that. They're all very good answers. Question 18. Luke chapter 22, verse 8. Who did he send to prepare the Passover? A, James and John. B, Peter and Andrew. C, Peter and John. Luke chapter 22, verse 8. Who did he send to prepare the Passover? A, James and John. B, Peter and Andrew. C, Peter and John. Time. Correct answer is C, Peter and John. Again, a hard one to guess if you don't know. Very good answers. All right, question 19. Luke chapter 22, verse 38. How many swords did they have? A, they had no swords. B, one sword. C, two swords. Luke chapter 22, verse 38. How many swords did they have? A, they had no swords. B, one sword. C, two swords. Wow, tough question. Time. Correct answer is C, two swords. Makes me wonder, in the garden, Peter pulled out his sword, right? I don't know who the other person was that had a sword. I wonder if Peter had two. I don't know. Just me thinking about that question. Sorry. Question number 20. Luke chapter 23, verse 3. What three things did they accuse Jesus of to Pilate? A, perverting the nation, forbidding to pay taxes to Caesar, and calling himself Christ a king. B, preaching blasphemies, inciting rebellions, and spreading lies. C, breaking the Sabbath, working with the zealots, and claiming to forgive sins. Wow. Luke chapter 23, verse 3. What three things did they accuse Jesus of to Pilate? A, perverting the nation, forbidding to pay taxes to Caesar, and calling himself Christ a king. B, preaching blasphemies, inciting rebellions, and spreading lies. C, breaking the Sabbath, working with the zealots, and claiming to forgive sins. Time. The correct answer is A, perverting the nation, forbidding to pay taxes to Caesar, and calling himself Christ a king. Not that they didn't accuse him of all those other things, but not in Luke chapter 23 and verse 3. All right, 5 more questions. Question 21. Luke chapter 23, verse 19. What was Barabbas guilty of? A, theft and the death of a Roman. B, inciting a rebellion and murder. C, being a zealot. Wow, another tough question. Luke 23, 19. What was Barabbas guilty of? A, theft and the death of a Roman. B, inciting a rebellion and murder. C, being a zealot. Time. The correct answer is B, inciting a rebellion and murder. Question 22. Luke chapter 23, verse 32. Who else was led with Jesus? A, 2 thieves. B, 2 murderers. C, 2 criminals. Luke chapter 23, verse 32, who else was led with Jesus? A, 2 thieves. B, 2 murderers. C, 2 criminals. Time. Correct answer is C, 2 criminals. Man, if you know the old a cappella song, you would get that one, right? Criminal on the Cross was the name of that song. It was a great song, by the way. If you've got an old, well, back then it was a cassette tape. I think I had, even before CD days. So if you've got an old a cappella cassette tape that has Criminal on the Cross, you ought to pull it out and listen to that, and you'll know the answer to that question. All right, Luke chapter 24, verse 13. Blank was 7 miles from Jerusalem. A, Bethany. B, Emmaus. C, Nazareth. Luke chapter 24, verse 13. Blank was 7 miles from Jerusalem. A, Bethany. B, Emmaus. C, Nazareth. Time. Correct answer is B, Emmaus. Remember, he was walking with the guys on the road. All right, Luke chapter 24, question 24, Luke chapter 24, verse 27. He expounded to them in all the blank the things concerning himself. A, writings. B, scriptures. C, prophecies. Luke chapter 24, verse 27. He expounded to them in all the blank the things concerning himself. A, writings. B, scriptures. C, prophecies. Excuse me. Time. Correct answer is B, scriptures. Last question, I think. Question 25, Luke 24, verse 50. Where did Jesus lead them? A, Bethany. B, Jerusalem, the Mount of Olives. Man, again, no context. Luke chapter 24, verse 50. Where did Jesus lead them? A, Bethany. B, Jerusalem. C, the Mount of Olives. Time. Correct answer is A, Bethany. Bethany. So next week, what we will do is we will have 3 sections of 25 questions. I think, I'm guessing that's what we have normally done in the past. I'm assuming we're doing it the same way that we've always done it. Jeff may change it. I may be telling you completely wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry. But I think what will happen is we usually have 3 rounds of 25 questions. We'll take a break, have 25 questions, take a break, have 25 questions, then eat dessert. So if you can join us, I'm killing some time here now that those are over. If you don't mind, send some scores in. Should have said that before I started talking about all of that because you're about 2 minutes behind me. I'm actually watching it on another computer screen over here, so I know exactly where you are in the process, or at least you're watching question 25 right now. So send me a text after you finish 25. Let me know how you've done. Sunday morning, we will live stream at, boy, go to that slide. It kind of messes up the green screen. Sunday morning, I'm doing this series again, Asking for a Friend, and I'm really excited about that. I had a hard time putting this question in a short form that would actually go on a slide. I put, does God tempt? The question specifically was, does God tempt us? And they gave an example. I won't give the example to you tonight, but the question revolved around why did God place the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the garden and then tell Adam not to eat from it? So if you sat something in front of somebody and said, don't eat this or don't drink this, wouldn't that be a temptation? So does God tempt? Question comes from James chapter 1. Also, if you want to read that. Looking forward to that sermon. Actually, it will be Sunday morning. We'll have worship at 10 o'clock, so we'll be live streaming our worship. We have Bible class at 9. We're covering the last 3 chapters of the Gospel of Luke before Bible Bowl on Wednesday night. That'll wrap up the Gospel of Luke and the study we've been doing it on on I'm sorry, I was reading messages. uh, but anyway, I'll wrap up the study of the Gospel of Luke we've been doing in Sunday morning Bible class. Uh, so there were a 23, a 19, a 22. Liam had a blast guessing. So he got about, great. I mean, I'm glad everybody tuned in to kind of do this. I really have always really enjoyed Bible Bowl. It's just really one of those things that I like to do. Screen is only doing weird on your chair. Yeah, it's I don't know how much you can see online. It's kind of my chair and my face. I'm still trying to get. I changed offices recently, and I'm still trying to get all of the lighting stuff worked out. So the lighting is what causes those issues, and I just cannot get it just right yet, but I'll keep working on it. Join us Sunday morning. Again, Bible class at 9 o'clock, worship at 10. You can catch us on those websites, those 2 Facebook pages, or on the YouTube channel. I am glad you tuned in. Hope you had fun. These are a little shorter classes tonight. We'll kind of get back to normal kind of classes next Wednesday. Well, not next Wednesday night. Next Wednesday night, we'll be doing the live stream from the church building, from the auditorium, doing Bible Bowl. So please tune in for that if you can't be in person. Some of those that were participating tonight, if you can call Jeff, sign up for an adult team, and let's get some teams put together so we can compete against the kids. So looking forward to that. I hope you have a good evening, and thanks for tuning in, and I will see you hopefully on Sunday morning.